Assalamu alaikum, everyone. I welcome you all to our today's session. First of all, I'll begin my session with a little introduction about my own self. I'm Alina Suhail and I'm working as an O level English teacher from past around 8 to 9 years. Apart from teaching O level students, I do work with students of grade 8s and 9s. And along with that, I do work on English language curriculum as well. So, as we all know that in English language exam 1123, we do get two type of questions. One is composition writing and the other is directed writing. So today we are going to discuss how to write a letter that comes in directed writing portion. So let's move on to our today's topic, which is letter writing. What we are going to do today, first of all, there are two different types of letters that we write. So we are going to discuss the two different type of letters and we'll discuss the difference between both of them. Secondly, we are going to look at an examination style writing question and we'll discuss how to answer such questions and what format are you supposed to use in order to achieve good score in your English language exam. And then the third thing is that we are going to talk about the structure or the format of the letter because both the letters like formal and informal are different in writing. The writing styles are different. So let's move on and let's first see what formal and informal letters are. When we talk about a formal letter is a letter that is written to people who are complete strangers to us and we do not know them personally. Whereas informal letter, it's a letter that is written to people who are our friends who comes in our family and we know them personally. So our today's topic is formal letters, and there are many different type of formal letters. For example, there's a letter of complaint. For example, if you want to complain to somebody, like you purchase something and it's not okay, and you're supposed to write a letter to the company or the organization, you're going to write a letter of complaint. Then there's a letter of apology in case if you want to apologize to somebody, you're going to write a letter of apology. Then we do have letter of information in which if you want to reveal some information to someone and use this. And then there is another type of letters which is letters expressing your opinion in which you give suggestions and your opinions to someone. And all of these different types of letters, they comes under the heading of formal letter as all of them are written to people who are complete strangers to us. So let's now look at a question which is taken from O level writing examination paper, and then we'll look at how to solve these questions. As you all know, that when we get questions in the directed writing section, there are pointers given to you, and it's very important for you to answer all the questions, all the pointers that are given in the question, because you get marks accordingly. If you're going to miss out any one of it, you'll lose your marks. So let's proceed. Question. One teacher in partic- One teacher in particular has helped you a great deal this year. You decided to write a letter to the local newspaper to make readers aware of the effort teachers put in. Write a letter. It must include the following details about the teacher and where the teacher works, a description of how the teacher has helped you and how you benefited from it, suggestions about how the teacher should be rewarded. Cover all 3 points above in detail. You should make your letter polite and informative and start your letter with Dear Editor. And remember to add appropriate ending. So now in this particular question, everything that the examiner requires from you is already mentioned, like how you're supposed to start your letter, what are the details that you're supposed to add, and how you're going to end up your letter. All the 3 bullet pointers that are here in the question are supposed to be answered, because if you're going to miss out any one of the details, then you're going to lose your marks. Let's proceed and see how we are going to write and start our letter. First and the most important thing that is that we start our letter with salutation and then there is an ending. There are two different types. Like if you're writing a formal letter, then you start your letter by saying Dear Editor, because you obviously do not know the name of the person to whom you're writing a letter. And if you're writing a letter to any of your friend, then you name that person. For example, if it's an informal letter, you're going to start writing your letter by dear Rachel, or any of your friend's name. But as we are writing a formal letter, so we are going to start writing it with dear editor, and it was mentioned in the question as well. Whereas formal letter, they do end with yours faithfully, whereas informal letters, they do end with yours sincerely. So there's a difference in both of them. It's very important that we be courteous when we are writing a formal letter, because the tone has to be polite. Let's discuss about the paragraphs. It's very important that we write our letter in different paragraphs. Altogether, it depends on the question as well. And every time you're going to write your letter, there will be an introductory paragraph, and then the body paragraph, and the concluding paragraph as well. Now, here on the screen, it's already mentioned that the first paragraph after the salutation will be an introductory paragraph, in which you're going to explain the topic of this letter and provides a brief detail. Now, I have named my teacher, I have selected a teacher, Miss Sharon, and I'm going to talk about that teacher. So, in the first paragraph, according to the question, I was supposed to provide details about the teacher and where the teacher works. In the first paragraph, you must explain and give details about the teacher, and you must write about the place where the teacher works. This paragraph should tell the reader of what the topic is about and what is the purpose of writing this letter. As now you can see that in the example, dear editor, I'm writing this letter to inform you of the most dedicated and hardworking teacher who has helped me tremendously throughout these online sessions. The teacher's name is Miss Sharon. Now, you all can see that I have used some descriptive adjectives over here in order to describe my teacher. As it was mentioned that I was supposed to give details about the teacher, so it's very important when we are adding details and when we are describing somebody, we use some good adjectives in order to describe the person. So these three lines are giving a brief introduction about my teacher, and I'm giving the name as well. I've described my teacher that she is very hardworking and she is dedicated and she has helped me out tremendously throughout the online sessions. And I've mentioned the name of my teacher as well. So you have to keep this thing in mind that when you're writing your letter, the first paragraph should answer the first pointer that is mentioned in the question. Then, coming on to our main body paragraphs, which is mostly our second paragraph, because that is where we add the details about the other pointer, which is pointer number 2. Describe how teacher has helped you and how you have benefited from her. Now, this is the part of the question. This was the second pointer that was mentioned in the question, that you're supposed to describe. You have to tell how the teacher has helped you and how it has benefited you. So, in this second paragraph, which is the main body paragraph, you have to write some description about how the teacher has worked with you and how has her performance affected you in a positive way. Add again, when the description is required, you have to make sure that you're using some adjectives and you're talking about things in detail. Let's look at an example. Miss Sharon has helped me personally in many ways. First, she used to appreciate me throughout the sessions, which enables me to participate more in class despite of being an introvert. She even provided me extra help by calling me school during her free hours to make me practice writing, which has increased my confidence in what I do. After all of her support and hard work, I managed to secure A grade in my final exams, which was just like a dream come true. Now you see, I have given a great description about my teacher, how the teacher has helped me, and how by achieving A grade in my final examinations, this is how she has benefited me. So it's very important that you relate to it using transactions like first and secondly. It's very important. So, this paragraph covers the answer of pointer number 2 mentioned in the question, which says that add a description of how the teacher has helped you and how you benefited from her. You can think about some other examples as well, um, but it has to answer the bullet pointer that is again mentioned in the question. Whereas there is one more thing to it, that our body paragraph, which is our second paragraph, can further be divided into another paragraph, like whatever details you are adding in your answer. it has to be in two different paragraphs. The first paragraph, as we have discussed earlier, is an introductory paragraph. The second paragraph is our main body paragraph. Now, obviously, I need to add some more information, right? So, I'm going to add another body paragraph. That's my body paragraph number 2, that answers the third pointer of my question: suggestions about how your teacher should be rewarded. Suggestions, like you need to give some suggestions of how you want your teacher to be rewarded. Now, again, coming back to the question actually was, first you had to tell about your teacher, then you have to describe how she has benefited you, and in the third paragraph you were supposed to write about how you want her to be rewarded. So let's look at an example. As Miss Sharon is a modest lady, I do believe that she would like to be rewarded for all her hard work and dedication towards this profession. Instead, we want her to know that we appreciate her hard work and endless effort which she puts into earn in her work to make us learn. We know that she will not accept any monetary reward. Instead, we would like to request you to publish this letter along with a photograph, which we have enclosed. Would be the best reward for her. If you do so, it will make us all very pleased. Now, you see, in this particular paragraph, we are already adding a suggestion that we want her photograph to be published in a newspaper. So, you have to give a suggestion in this paragraph as it was asked in the question. The suggestion should be something that looks realistic. And I already have mentioned that I know that my teacher is not going to accept any monetary awards. So this is what I want you to do, the editor of the newspaper to do. And coming to the last part of my letter is going to be the concluding paragraph. Bring the letter to closure. In the last paragraph, you're going to end up your letter by a courteous note. We are grateful for the time we have spent in reading this letter. Obviously, editor is somebody who's very busy, and he or she must have taken out time to read your letter, so you must thank that person too. We know that we are blessed and fortunate to have a teacher like Miss Sharon, and so sharing about her hard work and dedication would mean a great deal to us. We look forward to reading this letter in the newspaper. Yours faithfully, Jennifer Harold. So, this is how we form a formal letter for a question like this, as we have discussed in the example. Thank you. I hope that you all must have gained some information from the lecture that I have prepared for you. In order to get into Valeem, in order to get more of the sessions like this, I would request you all to join Valeem and contact us on the given numbers. Thank you.